Play ball!
If they don't win, it's a shame. It's 1, 2, they fight you out of the ball game.
What's going on? Greetings from Manor Ballpark and happy Sports Sunday. First things first, cheers. Tito Round Trippers here with your inaugural episode of Tito Talking Tribe. My special guest is none other than the man who brought me along on this microphone journey a handful of months ago, Ulysses S. Rand.
Hey, thanks for having me, Tito. It's great to be back with you talking some tribe. Browns couldn't get it done today. Well, that's another story. But hey, at least we can shine some light on what's good around here in the Guardians.
Exactly. We're hoping to have a nice autumn sports season here with these Guardians. Just a quick background to introduce myself. Tito Round Trippers. I have appeared with Ulysses S. Rand on episodes 2 through 5 of the Honest Dave Sports Report on Abraham Dringan. That's on every other Tuesdays, usually at 7 p.m. This is not an on part of the cycle, but yes, Honest Dave Sports Report is where I've been in the recent vintage, and we did a couple other broadcasts before in a different life, and now we are bringing you Tribe Talk for your Sunday sports night. Waiting out that primetime game after the afternoon affairs, talking some baseball here every Sunday in the fall, whether it be monologue or sporadically recurring guests. Here we go. And do please follow us on all social media platforms, wherever you get your podcasts. We're available. We are very accessible, as we are available on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio.
Yeah, so today's Guardians game, I saw it was postponed or rain delayed. Did it end up getting rained out?
It did. A lot of people speculated it was a quick hook, but the game was technically meaningless. So yes, either way, yeah. Jose Ramirez falls just short of the 40 club, counting doubles, in addition to the homers and stolen bases we all know. So
yeah, well, hey, we were down there last night, man, and I'll tell you what, the Guardians kind of hung in there. I mean, we just came up a little bit short, but it was still a fun night. It was fun. It was a fun game to go to, man. You know, I kind of had to. They kind of had the playoff atmosphere going. I mean, even though it wasn't such a meaningful game, it was just cool because, you know, we might play the Astros. I think this is how the seeding's working.
Yep, we're on a collision course with them. Because we'll get into the AL wildcards that start on Tuesdays, just to sort of paint a picture of the whole AL playoff field. But yes, we will play the winner by virtue of today's results. 121 loss White Sox have moved the seeding, and the Orioles now play the Royals, have moved up to the 5th seed, and the Tigers are the 6th seed. So the Cleveland Guardians shall play the winner of the Tigers and Astros division series starting Tuesday, and then
so now that's a 3-game series.
3-game series, 5-7 with a new collective bargaining agreement. With these expanded playoffs, more teams go to the playoffs. There's no more one-game playoffs. Everything is tiebreakers. We're not going to spend a ton of time on the National League, but there's 3 National League teams tied for the last 2 spots. There's a doubleheader tomorrow. Yes, mayhem. And there's no one-game 163 or one-game playoff to fall back on. It's just, where do you stand on the tiebreaker, and do you eke it out? But we're not going to spend a bunch of time on the National League, and thank gosh, because, yeah, those are still some muddy waters. By winning percentage, there's 3 teams in a virtual tie. And then it's just the Diamondbacks have a slightly different winning percentage from the Mets and Braves because they have a doubleheader tomorrow.
Okay.
So the National League is just a crazy mess.
Yeah. Wow.
All around.
So yeah. So hey, yeah. So you said we might play either the Astros or the Tigers.
Yes, that's the setup of the
hey,
bracket.
man, you want to talk about I know the Astros have the pedigree and the experience, but dude, the Tigers are just like the underdog story of the year, man.
Yeah.
I mean, August 11th, I think they had like 53 wins and like over 60 losses. Like a 99% chance not to make the playoffs. But then they went 31-11 since then. I mean, this was as of yesterday.
Yeah.
And punched their ticket to the playoffs. So, yeah, just incredible, man. What an incredible run by them, you know. And that's the thing, like, you know, maybe we need to watch out for these teams that have all this momentum going.
A little bit.
Plus, they have Scooble.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, 2 out of 3 series, you're right. It's like Scoogle will probably get them game 1, and then for what it's worth, the Astros will be favored the rest of the games, but it's a 3-game series, and they'll be in a 1-0. So I don't know how that's going to go. Obviously, especially just with recent sample size, the Astros, without much to play for, still played us pretty tough. So it's like, man, I say just let's hope the Tigers upset the Astros. We'll be home either way, so we don't have to root for someone based on being home. I say let's hope the Tigers upset the Astros and then they run out of steam, because how long can you really be on fire like that? The Tigers have just been at like an insane clip for 2 months, so let's hope maybe they just can take care of the Astros for us, who seem to match up well with us, and run out of a bit of steam.
Yeah, maybe they'll run out of steam. But hey, man, I wish we would have got a win against the Astros. I know we didn't play them today, I guess because of the rain, but oh well.
Yeah.
Hey, so I did want to ask you, I don't know if you got it later in your show notes, I did want to ask you about our starting rotation.
Yeah. Glad you asked. That was more or less going to be next.
And I did want to ask you, so I saw Verlander start last night. So let's say the Astros do win. Or well, so would you think maybe he would pitch game 3 then for Houston?
Well, yeah, or if they were lucky enough to sweep them in 2, they could move them up. But yeah, because there's only the 1 day off, so they almost might pitch him game 2, just batting on themselves, hoping he can pitch sooner in the division.
Question is, so which pitchers do we need to watch out for from Detroit and Houston, and what do you think about our starting rotation?
Okay, well, yeah, first of all, yeah, it's classic, like, ensemble cast versus star power, because Tariq Skubal, I believe, won the pitching Triple Crown. He had sewn up.
Oh, I know he was a major Cy Young.
Yeah, he had sewn up WHIP and ERA, and each strikeout race was close going into the final week, but I know for a fact, I didn't look up if he won the pitching Triple Crown, but I think he did, because his last start was no slouch, so... You know, you fear Skubal as far as...
So when you say Triple Crown, is that
WHIP?
ERA?
ERA strikeouts is the pitching
ERA
Triple
strikes
Crown.
and WHIP. Okay.
Yeah, that's the equivalent of, like, how they talk about it.
So that's not wins, but WHIP.
No, yeah. WHIP, ERA, strikeouts. So, yeah, Skubal's a monster. You fear the Astros more from an A standpoint. I'm sorry, the Tigers more from an A standpoint because of Skubal, but then the Astros have 3 damn good starting pitchers from a top to bottom standpoint. You fear the Astros more with Framber Valdez and Verlander and their whole ensemble of pitchers.
So Houston has a stronger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most teams we're going to find in this field, especially in the AL, do have a stronger rotation than us. We're just going to hang our hat on situational hitting in our bullpen for the most part.
Yeah.
So
So looking at our starters.
Yeah.
So is Lively going to be in our starting rotation?
I think so.
Okay.
And a possible tell for that, I wouldn't say this is a smoking gun, but they had Sandlin open, and, well, it never happened. This game never happened. But the tentative plan, if you weren't aware for this game, was Sandlin open and Gavin Williams would jump in the 2nd or 3rd inning, depending on what Sandlin did. So that kind of showed our hand that, like, because Lively's worked out of the bullpen before and Gavin Williams never has, so we were sort of getting Williams acclimated to the bullpen.
All right, so we got Williams and Bibby as starters, right? Or will Williams?
Well, Williams might be in the pen. That's why they have to start late. So yeah, Bibby will start game 1 for sure. That's the only thing that's for sure, totally for sure for everything.
Okay,
and
then you think Lively will be a starter too?
Yes. I think Boyd should start game 2. I mean, that's not a consensus. That's not a lock. But like for my speculation, Cobb should be ready.
All right.
Because I haven't heard any ironclad evidence, but I've heard a ton of speculation of who's going to replace, who do we have to send down for Cobb on the roster.
So we got Bibby, Cobb, Boyd as our locks on
yes,
stars.
as our locks. And then, you usually
Right.
start the playoffs with 4 starters. I think that 4th guy is going to be Lively.
Okay.
And then Williams will work out of the bullpen, and
All right.
we'll go from there.
That might be like a long relief guy.
Yeah.
And that's kind of going to be I think the key is, if we can get to, the 5th or 6th inning and have the lead, we can just put that bullpen in. Or even if we need a long relief guy, put him in like the 4th or the 5th to get later to our other guys. Yeah, so it'll be great to see.
Yes, it will, for sure. I feel like it's almost a lock that Bibby starts game 1. I want Boyd game 2. I'm 90% sure Cobb will be ready if Cobb's ready.
I'll definitely be paying attention to that wild card series because, like I said, watch out for the Tigers.
Yeah, they're red hot, and this division is only getting tougher, both in the short term and long term. Because, nothing but a Twins collapse stopped our division from sending 4 teams this year, and if the Twins don't fall off a cliff next year, they're sending 4 teams strong next year. So it's going to be pretty crazy. Like I said, the playoff field is set. Tuesday is the start of Wild Card AL round. And October 5th is the Guardians' first playoff game.
Now, do we know dates? Do we know times?
I don't think we know times, and I apologize if times were a late-breaking thing, but as of an hour ago, I hadn't found out anything about time.
I did see the tickets for Monday night's game. I think before fees, we're floating around $80, so with fees, it's probably about $100 a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of trying maybe to get out of work early and go to that game Monday night, but we'll see. So do we think that that's going to be a night game or a day game?
We'll have to see, dude,
that's the thing about these first round of playoffs, the first few games, in these rounds, we don't know, are they going to be night games or day games?
Yeah. And then obviously being in a smaller market, even though we have the second best record in the league, sometimes, it's being in a smaller market.
I feel like they move us to the day games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's been known to happen. Especially, there's a lot more day games for the opening, so I would almost expect us to be the noon game the 5th, and then we'll see what happens on the 7th, that Monday, for game 2. So it works out kind of nice now that we're coming at you Sunday nights for the playoffs. Here, Talking Tribe with Tito. Next show is going to be a nice melange of a recap of Game 1 and a preview of Game 2, because it'll be sandwiched between our 2 home affairs in the division series for whoever we shall play in that Tigers-Astros. So I guess without further ado, just so we can be all Tribe the rest of the way, let's hit these wild card series. First of all, on the other side of the bracket, the best 2 young shortstops in the game, we've got the Orioles versus the Royals, and then the winner plays the Yankees on the opposite side of our bracket.
I gotta imagine the Orioles will take that series.
Yeah, I will buy that as well. Yeah, based on recent momentum, and why change courses now is rooting on the Royals to regress so we shore up the division. So let's just assume that those career year starters for the Royals will keep it regressing. And yes, I would say the Royals are a good pick there. I'm not sold on either team, but each of them had a kind of an equally disappointing stretch run as far as gauging how hot they've been recently. So I would say, just based on overall talent, I'll give the edge to the Orioles because, boy, if anyone's been banged up with injuries, it's us. It's the Orioles, and they've still stayed the course and been relevant. So, I think we're in cahoots on that series. And then, of course, the other wild card series starting Tuesday, the A.J. Hinch Bowl. Winner plays us. Astros versus Tigers.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch that.
That's going to be a good one. Yeah. For sure.
I'm worried, like I said, I'm worried about the Astros just because they have the experience. And, they didn't have some of their players playing last night.
Yeah, I know. They had 4 players out. At one point, I don't know if you caught it, it was before the Astros pulled away and Hammy was reading the lineup. The Yankees might have read this lineup and called the league office. I mean, he was half joking, but he was no, seriously, the Astros had 5 guys out, key guys out of the lineup. So, Yeah, that was
Yeah, I don't know.
crazy.
I feel like I'd rather play Detroit, even though they
Absolutely, yeah.
hotter.
Mhm.
But like you said, I mean, when it gets to the playoff time, and maybe their streak they'll cool off.
Yeah, the longer the series, the lesser the effect of the bold-faced ace. It's like Tariq Skubal, he'll terrify the Astros in a 3-game series. But then once it goes to a 5-game series the next round, it's like, man, it's still good to have an ace, but that's not quite as commanding of an edge in my eyes as if you have one in a 3-gamer. So let's hope maybe Skubal can dust the Astros, and then it's not as big a deal when they take us out.
My Tigers might win game 1, but they might not take that series.
I was really hoping to get some good insight on roster decisions today. I knew that would be like the dominant chatter with today's game, consequence-wise, being somewhat, not relevant in the standing. Unfortunately, Mother Nature had other ideas, and that didn't happen. So I still want to talk for a minute about roster situations, but there's no ironclad evidence. It's just we have to remember you're already carrying an extra position player and pitcher, and then it's widely known we already took care of the Quan transaction because we activated him, but Cobb will probably be ready for the playoffs. So,
Go ahead.
3 guys have to be sent down, I believe, by my estimation. So that'll be some decisions we have to make because there's always the 2 guys trimmed for the roster and Cobb's ready.
You said it would be those 2 pitchers, right? Walters.
Yeah, someone between Walters and Sabrowski, those 2 rookie pitchers.
Okay. What about any of their position players?
Yeah, because there's regulations.
You
and
got to keep Manzardo here.
Oh, yeah, Manzardo.
What about Noel? Got to keep him.
Yeah, you got to keep him for his power. So, position player-wise, because Straw already bit the bullet when we activated Quan, so I would imagine Schneemann would be the guy on the chopping block.
All right.
So, yeah, I would say probably Schneemann would be the guy on the chopping block since we already either him or Angel Martinez. And Schneemann is our only backup shortstop. I don't think we necessarily want to play Rocchio every day. So, unfortunately, I like Angel Martinez. I'm pretty sure logistically a position player has to go, and we don't put Martinez at shortstop. We're not going to play Rocchio every day. So, just due to roster construction, that position player might be Martinez. But there's tough decisions on each side of the ball because, again, Sabrowski and Walters have both pitched double-digit great innings, but conventional wisdom would say we'll keep all of our relievers pretty much that have gotten us here. And since we have a few people to trim from the count, that, yeah, Sabrowski or Walters won't make it. Now, Walters was the 2nd-round pick last year. Sabrowski's a slightly bigger sample size than Walters and being as equally dominant as Walters, so that's going to be a tough one. Someone has to get squeezed. It's like, will it be Walters with a smaller sample size, or will it be Sabrowski because of his lesser pedigree? Because either way, it's a tough decision because you're talking about a reliever that's pitched double-digit innings and not giving up a run.
So we would have a 5-game series.
Yes, the division series is 5, and the LCS is 7 with the new agreement. It's incrementally 3, 5, and the 7 is how the series go.
Well, hey, I'm just glad to see that we got the pennant this year.
Yeah,
I did get the new one the other night.
All right, yeah, the 2024. Nice.
Okay. 2024 Central Division champs. And this is a hard thing to get. Baseball's a marathon season. But hey, yeah, good job by Stephen Vogt and the Guardians.
Yeah, I still don't know what a bullpen quality control coach does. And why do I say that? Because Stephen Vogt, very fresh and green off his playing days, his only coaching experience is being the bullpen quality control coach of the Mariners. And it's like, okay, I don't even know what that is, and that was only 1 year, and I don't even think the Mariners had a good bullpen last year, so I had my doubts. But I'm glad those doubts were unfounded. His Vogt's done a great job with us. We're happy for the foundation.
Hey, how about cheers to him, man?
Yeah, cheers to Vogt.
I know we talked about when this whole season started that he had some big shoes to fill.
Big shoes. We got the thank you Tito shirt to pay homage to Tito Francona here.
Thank you, Tito.
This was a good thrift store find the other day. Always moving forward. We got the hype train going for next year's season already with the 2025 schedule. And of course, peppered throughout, we got a couple captains things because they were the A-Ball Midwest League champs, and they gave us a heck of a campaign too. But
Yeah, it's just great to hang that pennant, man. I'm gonna put it on the wall with my other Guardians pennant.
all right, so we got the other series out of the way. So now, yeah, we're all Cleveland baseball all the time. The rest of the way here, we talked about the rotation and boy.
Yeah, we talked about the rotation. I mean, it kind of goes without saying that our bullpen is basically ranked like it's historical in ranking, really.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of that's a big thing with the playoffs is your bullpen because you can have a hook on that starter and put a guy in there, and especially with the depth of our bullpen.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about moving one of our guys into a long relief role. Now you might have a guy that can come in again in like the 4th or 5th inning and then get the game to the 6th or the 7th where our normal bullpen guys are ready to go. And it's just a great setup, man. And I think that bullpen success is key to the playoffs. I know Tito was like a wizard at managing his bullpen. Hopefully Vogt, like you said, he has bullpen coaching experience.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully he can manage his bullpen well. And I do want to say that 2016 World Series run, that was some good bullpen management by Tito.
Yeah.
And he, especially in our starting pitching lineup was just kind of like it is this year, put together with chewing gum, yarn,
Yeah,
tape,
the ultimate wing and prayer.
Yeah. So we'll see what Vogt can do, and hey, it's great that we have that bullpen to lean on.
Yeah, and then I was thinking too about with this bullpen, that's great and stuff, and that's a huge asset in the postseason. So we just need our young hitters to be patient. The downside of being a bullpen-heavy team, we are going to have to play from behind against some of these good teams in the playoffs, and we just got to be patient.
That's
and slowly work our way back into these
2-0,
2-1 games in the third. Because when you're
when you're playing the Yankees, they hit get a guy on or two, hit a homer, and then we're down 3-0, man. But you got to keep in mind, baseball's 9 innings or more.
Yep.
So even if the Yankees get ahead of us, hey man, pull that pitcher out. Pull that pitcher out in the 4th or 5th. Get your long relief guy in there. Get a bullpen guy in there, and go from there.
Right.
And hopefully we can, play that Brandon Guardians baseball, which is now we've had more homers this year, but I mean it's still get base hits, go from there. So hopefully we can get it done. So hey, I did see a pretty cool graphic. It was who was the last. Hold on, I don't want to say it wrong.
Okay. Yeah. Feel free to set it up for good posterity here.
So it
Make
was
an impression of the debut.
who was the top Billboard artist? The last MLB team won its last World Series.
Oh, I remember this graphic being entertaining.
So you had to scroll down to the bottom of the chart next to the teams that have never won the World Series. Which I knew the Mariners never won it, and the Rays never won it. I'm surprised the Brewers never won one. But anyway, so it says for the guard, well, it would have been the Indians, but it was Margaret Whiting with the old Indians logo, like a real old one. So I guess that would have been 48.
48, yeah. I read a nice article. There's a couple big droughts in play. 48 for us. The Brewers never. They were there once in 82. The Diamondbacks, it's been 23 years. The infamous September 11th is the last time the Diamondbacks won one. The Mets, for that matter, haven't won one since, the 86 Mets, the infamous Bill Buckner thing. So it's kind of interesting, even in this swollen playoff field of 2024, where more teams qualify, it's like almost half the teams have some kind of drought to claim.
So the Tigers was Lionel Richie, so I don't know what year that would have been.
That was the mid '80s, '84.
Right. And then
because they lost a couple in the 2000s.
The
but
Orioles,
was the last one they
Michael
won.
Jackson. So
yeah, '83 that was probably Thriller. Because they were the ones that beat the Brewers in '82 or '83. It's been that long for the Orioles. The Orioles are another long suffering by the definition of title drought teams. Been about 4 decades for them, too.
Well, hey, at least we're not in the never category.
Yeah, that's it. So.
Oh yeah, hopefully they get it done. I mean, yeah, good job by Vogt. What a year. I'll be, like I said, I'll be watching it all. Hopefully I can get a ticket down there.
Yeah, cheers. I jumped the gun on the shots. No beer drinks to that. And yeah, we're going to have a good long playoff run. We're going to be with you every step of the way. I'm going to do a show every Sunday night of these playoffs, and then there'll be some recaps, whether they be via text or quick, rapid video stuff.
What's the name of the new gig, Tito?
Oh, we're talking Tribe with Tito.
All right.
TTT right here.
Yeah,
Sunday nights at 8 throughout the playoffs, and then we'll go from there for how it goes.
I'll never forget when I was a kid.
We got the alliteration there.
When I was a kid growing up, riding around, so my dad had an S10. Mm-hmm. So if you ever watched this episode, Dad, I know you watched some of them, but I remember, he would listen to 1100 WTAM, listen to the game and listen to the sports talk. And I'll never forget they had that old sports talk show where they were like, "We're talking baseball, talking Tribe."
Yep. That's it. It just rolls right off.
And then they had that
it's baseball talking Tribe.
And they had that real catchy trumpet riff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the good old days. Yeah. I literally remember, I'm 43 years old, I remember when Carlos Baerga was strictly a pinch hitter and like trying to fine tune my antenna. The pennant was temporarily coming up, but that's Carlos Baerga right there. I remember listening to the games when I was 8 or 9 years old because Baerga was a regular by 91 when I was 10. Pinch hitting to that talking baseball, Indians baseball. It would always be like, celebration, like Felix Fermin's due up in the ninth. That means Carlos Baerga's going to pinch hit. He was a monster that year. He got insane handful of pinch hits. And yeah, that radio song, like I said, that's a banger. The old talking baseball.
Oh yeah. I mean, your new show, it kind of reminds me of that old banger. Yep. Talking Tribe. But hey, it's been a pleasure to see you again, man. Thanks for hanging out. Too bad the Browns couldn't get it done, but
right.
I got faith in the Guardians.
Yep, there'll still be hopefully a deep playoff run and still a few more chances for like a double feature Sunday where maybe the Guardians and the Cleveland football team get it done on the same day. That would be great. Let's run down anything else we might have. Like I said, the NL is still very much a scrum. I wasn't going to spend any time on them. And now that there's 3 teams with virtually the same record by winning percentage and a doubleheader tomorrow, that's a big mess. Let's just say the Diamondbacks are in the worst shape for tiebreaker. The Braves are in the best shape. And we'll go from there. There's 3 teams that are tied, and it's a doubleheader tomorrow, so there's a lot to decide there still. And like I said, next week will be a nice combo. It'll be even more Tribe heavy than this one. This was like 70% Tribe, 30% set up the playoff field. Next episode is going to be more 90-10 because we're basically going to be reviewing Game 1 of the division series, whoever that may be that survives the Tigers-Astros series. And previewing Game 2 of the series. Any adjustments we have to make or anything we have to keep rolling depending on how Game 1 might go. And that'll be about the next show.
Yeah, so the timing of the next, your show Sunday night after Game 1 on Saturday.
Yeah.
And then Game 2 will be Monday.
So it'll be right between them,
And then then the next episode on Abe's will be that Tuesday after Game 2.
Yep, that's right. So yeah, we'll be all over.
So our timing on these shows is going to be good.
Mm-hmm. It sure will, and we're looking forward to a deep and fun playoff run. And this is Tito Round Trippers and Ulysses S. Rant. Thanking you guys for tuning in and reminding you to watch your chase rate. Don't get caught leaning off second base, and mind your P's and Q's in this 2024 pennant chase.
But I do think the Guardians have a pretty good chance of advancing to the next round, so it'll be great to see.
Yup. One advancement away from the LCS, and then the only thing left to do is win the whole damn thing.
Play ball! If they don't win, it's a shame.